Yeah, you may, yeah. No more than a fist, or something like that, yeah?
Something about a fist away is good.
Okay, we got that.
Is that me?
We're live on Facebook.
Hi, Facebook Live. We got a good show tonight. We have Bruno over here. Can they see little Bruno? Our town of Brookhaven shelter dogs up for adoption. And we're excited. If you have questions, email or however, how do they get you?
They just message on Facebook Live.
There's our friend Bruno. He's in training. He pulled a little muscle. During our break, we're going to try to do a little demo. This is a very crazy environment. We're at the airport, so airports...
90 seconds.
Airports, for me, are stressful. So you can imagine a dog with a mammalian brain who lives 18 inches off the ground trying to figure this weirdness out. There's reflections, there's PA systems. This is a crazy, crazy place. So in about 90 seconds, 60 seconds, we're going on the air. Stick with us, even during our commercials. And if you have questions about anything, Facebook us the questions and we'll get back to you. It's going to be fun, fun, fun. We got the professor, we got Joe in there, we got the lovely Danielle is our videographer.
Got about a minute.
We got a minute left. The excitement is building. You know, W.C. Fields would never work with children or animals, and I'm doing both. So children, animals are unpredictable, and that's why he wouldn't do it.
And you're not unpredictable.
What's that?
You're not unpredictable?
No. So this is like walking a tightrope. We're like on a trapeze. Just so you know, Bruno is this amazing dog. We've taken him into Houndstown Charities, as you can see. That's what we're representing. And we're trying to make him a better
30 seconds.
so he's not a lunatic. All right, we got 30 seconds. Danielle's going to set up, and we're going to get this party moving. How's he doing over there? I can't see. We have 14, we have 17 locations. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Dish on Dogs. I'm your host, Mike Gould. I'm joined here with the very lovely Ashley Pizzo, better known as the Professor. I'm also affectionately known as the Mayor of Houndstown, USA, home to the happiest dogs on earth. Houndstown, USA. We now have incredible 17 locations in 7 states. That's kind of crazy. And we have a lot happening within our franchise system, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what Houndstown is. If you don't know about it, if you never heard of us, we want to make sure that we welcome you into our Houndstown family and what it is we do. Houndstown is fully interactive pet care facilities. Fully interactive, meaning we take dogs. For those of you on Facebook, by the way, if you go on Facebook Live, if you have the ability to do that, we're actually live on Facebook, so you can we have a dog with us. And we always like to incorporate dogs into everything we do because that's what we do. We deal with dogs. So Houndstown USA is fully interactive daycare. Primarily, we put natural packs of dogs together. So we provide the needs a dog has. Dogs are pack animals. They're social pack animals. We have a tremendous skill set. My staff, not me, but my staff in all of our 17 locations has the ability to take dogs of different sizes and temperaments and personalities and put them in a natural pack. It's something they've been lacking since they've been removed from their litter. Since your little puppy dog at home has been taken from its litter, it's being raised by humans. It's like humans being raised by wolves. It's a very confusing, conflicting thing for dogs. And that's really the purpose of this show. The purpose of this show is to bridge the gap, the void, the valley, the canyon of human brain and animal brain. Humans have both a neocortex, an executive brain, and their mammalian brain. And they're completely different. So we describe the differences in dogs, the similarities in dogs, and how we're confusing the dogs. So again, stay with us today. I want to introduce Ashley Pizzo, the professor. Hi, Ashley.
Hi, how are you?
Good, good, good. So, what's new and exciting this week? Last week, what did we talk about last week? I forget.
We talked about, who did we have in here? We had a dog in here with us. We've had a dog every week.
All right,
Brooklyn,
yeah.
right? We have Brooklyn.
Okay. Yeah, so we had a dog, and we try to introduce a dog. And for those of you on Facebook, during the 7-minute gap, we're hopefully going to do a little demonstration, if we can, with Brooklyn. And also, what we do, yesterday we went out to Bergen County. One of the things we do is turbo dog training. It's a concept. It's a philosophy. It's a methodology. Turbo dog training is where we try to, as quickly as possible, communicate to humans how to manage their dog effectively. So at the end of the day, we don't talk about training, we talk about managing dogs. And we're always trying to do that. And later on in the show, in the second segment maybe, we're going to introduce, tell people what happened today with
Stella.
Stella. What? Well, tell the story.
Well, Renee is right outside, actually. But yes, with
Right.
Stella. So we had a training appointment set up with Renee. She's been coming to daycare for some time now with Stella. And they have the main issue is pretty much all the anxiety built from the door, the front door. People coming in, people going out, whether it's themselves or neighbors or the post office, whatever it may be. Stella literally goes from a calm dog to completely out of balance.
Right.
Very quickly.
Right. So she became very difficult to manage, to the point where, it's obviously very frustrating. You get a dog, you love your dog, you rescue a dog, and as time goes on, the dog has anxieties, develops anxieties. And a lot of times humans don't understand why and how the anxiety is being developed, and many times how they contribute to the anxiety. Most everybody does, every human being. I guarantee you're doing something just by virtue of answering your doorbell. You're sending a message to your dog. So what we try is to go to people's homes, and we don't teach dogs to sit, to stay, roll over, give high fives. We see what they're doing. We just watch their energy. And actually, I don't know if it's posted yet. Is Stella's on Facebook, the little funny video? It's really going to be an hysterical video. If it's not on there yet, it'll be on after the show. And we'll show you at the conclusion how we ultimately trained Stella. And all right, never mind. We changed Stella. I just had I was distracted for a minute. But anyway, so that's what we're going to do. So it's going to be interesting. Is it posted yet on Facebook?
I'm checking now.
Okay, so we're checking. It's going to be posted on Facebook. After the break, we're going to invite Stella's mom in. Stella's not here tonight, right? Because we didn't want her. The airport is an amazingly stressful place. There are things that happen. So dogs respond and react to changes in their environment. So when you think of all the stress at an airport for a dog, so if your dog's afraid of a vacuum cleaner, what do you think he's going to do with the carousel carts that are moving around or people dragging luggage? These things all represent animals to the dogs, animals that they don't understand. The Long Island Railroad is a pterodactyl, right? It's a big pterodactyl moving on steel. So dogs don't understand this concept. The vacuum cleaner, we call it the monster in the closet, meaning the dog comes out and he attacks. In this case, Stella used to or does attack the vacuum cleaner.
Right.
So it's not what the dog does. We're going to explain why your dog is either afraid of your vacuum or wants to kill your vacuum. It's one or the other. So most problems with dogs, it's a misunderstanding of our human world. They just don't get it. And we're so smart that it's hard for us to understand the simplicity of what a dog sees from 18 inches off the ground. We live in an insane world. Dogs are simple. They're from the wild. So if you look at a dog, this is the question I ask, does the dog look more like a wolf or does it look more like a human? I think we can pretty easily say a dog looks more like a wolf. It hasn't evolved. It's not going to evolve. Not in the next couple of 100,000 years. It's doubtful a dog is ever going to stand erect. It's doubtful it's going to grow an executive brain. And it's not going to grow thumbs. So it relies on us for those things. The only way a dog can change its height, we can stand up. A dog has to jump, therefore creating a bad behavior, right? So if Bruno here, who was unmanageable in his home, that's why he's at the shelter, because nobody set boundaries for Bruno. So Bruno is not vicious, he's not aggressive, he's actually crazy playful. But if he knocks a 7-year-old or a 70-year-old off your deck, it's just as well might have bit him. It's the same whether you break your leg or you get a puncture wound. So the point was we had to balance that energy. And that's what we're going to talk to after the break.
Right. Yep, we're talking to Renee and Stella. Well, not Stella, but Renee, Stella's mom.
Yeah,
And she'll be in here, kind of just giving her side of what went on today.
Right, because we only met for the first time, and we've been going back and forth, and she described to me what happens, and it's all very simple, really, and it's very common, you know, and a lot of times we go to people's home and they feel guilty that they did this or didn't do that. The other problem is, nowadays you can go online, you ask 5 different people, you're going to get 5 different opinions. It's the same with the vets, and it's the same like that in the human world, right? You can go to 5 different doctors, get 5 different opinions. So it's no different. And then our pet owners who are really loving, they get sucked in, they get emotionally moved in a direction. Sometimes it's actually, frankly, harms the dog unintentionally. And this is by supposedly pet professionals, dog trainers, dog behaviorists, whatever you want to call it. It's an unregulated industry.
Right.
And anybody can be one. Anybody can put their name in the paper or online and say, I'm a dog trainer. There's no regulations. It's harder to get a driver's license, right? At least you have to go to the Department of Motor Vehicle. You got to pass
And
it.
it shows some physical proof to it.
Right, you have to demonstrate that you have some skill.
Right.
So anyway, these are the things. I usually start these shows nice and relaxed, and then by the time the 4th segment, when we talking about Hounds, I get frustrated at humanity. Humanity. Not Stella's mom. Now she's not Stella's mom. But I get frustrated by all the things when I see therapy dogs being dragged through this airport who are shaking and they're afraid to be here. They have as much anxiety about flying. They probably have more anxiety about flying than you do.
Right.
But we won't get aggravated about that yet. We'll save that for our charity segment. So, Houndstown, USA, home to the happiest dogs on earth. How can people listen to this show?
So they can go on Facebook, on our Houndstown Radio Facebook page, and that'll be Facebook Live, so that'll be video.
Except next week we won't be live.
We won't be live, but the video will be posted at 8 o'clock
right.
while the show is playing. It
Right,
was
so-
a pre-recorded show, so.
So it's always Monday nights at 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock, yep. Video and on the radio at LI News Radio 103.9.
And it's the show, The Dish on Dogs. We dish out advice. It's only as it says at the beginning, this is our opinion. Nobody else's, it's our opinion. The only difference is we've done this 1,000,000 times. 1,000,000 times. So we live with doggy daycare is a laboratory of dogs for us, and we're going to have examples of that, and Bruno's going to be one of them. Stay with us during the break. We're going to be 2 minutes, and then we'll be back, and we'll have Stella's mom's going to come in and talk about what we did today. Join us after the break, folks. Thank you.
You got 2 minutes.
Okay, all right, let her in. I'll watch her. Yeah,
Yeah, you come on and just push it.
just come in. Have a seat.
How are you?
Good, come in, dear. I got
You
this.
can take a seat right here.
Sure.
I got. Don't touch. All right.
So the ears.
Hi, Facebook. This is Renee, Stella's mom. Anybody have any questions? Call us, text us. Let's see. Talk about the topic we blasted out. All right. Jackie's telling me to talk about the topic that we're supposed to be talking about. Is your dog fearful or aggressive? All right. Well, Jackie, I'm going to segue into that. We have Renee with us, and it kind of segues into. Get him back.
He's adorable.
Love.
You got 1 minute.
Okay. Get him over there.
Come on, go place. Good boy.
Go back. Don't touch the leaf. Give him a treat. All right, guys, on Facebook Live, I'm getting yelled at by Jackie already. It's been 7-10 minutes, and I'm doing something wrong. Yeah, you can put them on. Although you don't 100% need them because it's you can put them on.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Thirty seconds.
we'll do a little demonstration. Like I said, I'll let you go out. Yeah, we'll just do our demonstration.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Anytime.
Yeah, just keep like this bar on that, like that. Yeah, yeah. Mhm. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Dish on Dogs. I'm your host, Mike Gould. I'm joined here by the lovely Ashley Pizzo. We also have Bruno down here. I'm going to introduce in a moment Stella's mom, but before I do, during the break, I got yelled at by our producer. What is she? She's really a director. She's the boss.
She's the boss.
The boss woman. She said I have to talk about the topic. So, and I agree. I'm scattered, right? I'm watching Bruno. I'm like juggling here. So, the topic for this show is your dog vicious? If a dog looks like he wants to kill the next door neighbor or kill the mailman or attack the UPS man, is he vicious or is he fearful? The answer is, and this is going to be a good segue when I introduce Renee, the answer is 90% or a large percentage of dog bites are created by what we call fear-motivated dog. The dogs do demonstrate aggression. There's resource guarding, which means they're protecting their resources. Guess what? The humans are resource guarders, right? If you come into my garage and take my property, I'm a resource guarder. If you ask for permission, I may give you, probably won't, but I may give you one of my tools. But the point is, resource guarding, these are all what we talk about, mammalian behaviors. So fundamentally, we're all animals. Humans, dogs, we're animals. So aggression looks, they throw this word around, my dog is vicious. He's not vicious. They're more likely very misunderstood. And their aggression or their fear manifests itself in aggression because they only have teeth. That's all they have. They don't have opposing thumbs. They can't call 911. And they live in a completely different universe than us. Literally, they're down 18 inches off the ground. And they're not always taught properly of what to do. So aggression is usually created by fear. If you remove the fear, the aggression goes away. And I think a good illustration of that was today. Renee is here, and hi Renee, thank you for coming. She was very nice enough to come. So let me just set this up, and then I'm going to ask you to fill in the blanks. Renee comes to our doggy daycare at Houndstown in Ronkonkoma, and Stella plays and so forth, and that's one experience. That's like a natural dog experience. But at home, the dog develops behaviors, unwanted behaviors, i.e. the doorbell rings, and Stella has an out-of-body experience, or the mailman comes by, the dog has an out-of-body experience. She wants to kill the vacuum cleaner. And one of the things I remember you saying is you can't, like your husband can't leave the house. So just thank you for coming. Tell them, our listening audience, a little about Stella and how we met today and what, and the experience you had.
Well, basically, anytime either one of us is ready to leave the house, Stella has what you call an out-of-body experience, which is putting it very nicely. Anytime that someone comes into the house, she has another out-of-body experience, and then once they're still in there, she doesn't leave them alone. Whether that's mouthing on their sleeve or just jumping on them, it's very difficult to control her.
Right. And when we say mouthing, look, dogs use their mouth. So, it is a bite. So the dog is using its mouth to either, for some reason, either to play with something or to get rid of something, one or the other. So the behaviors were concerning to you, right?
Absolutely.
I think, I forget, that there was a problem with a neighbor, maybe the dog was, go ahead, talk about that.
So we were outside in the yard, and our neighbor was on the other side of the fence. We were trying to have a conversation. Stella was barking like crazy, and the neighbor went to try to pet her, and Stella tried to, for lack of a better way of putting it, bite her.
Yeah. Right, whether it's mouthing, we've tried it, we like to soften it down before we right.
She wanted to eat my neighbor.
right.
Is the bottom line. And when she couldn't do that, she put her mouth over the pole to the chain link fence. So in her mind, either way, she was getting something.
She's satisfying, or she thinks, right. So most of those behaviors that you described, and we talked about today a little bit, it's a misunderstanding. So when your dog is barking incessantly out the window, it's usually barking at something, whether it's a noise or some movement. And the more they bark, everything kind of goes away. So it's self-fulfilling for them. They're like bark, 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 things disappear. So, and this was a situation that interests me because we've been talking back and forth since Christmas, and finally we just said, look, and I wanted to demonstrate this turbo dog training, and as I described to the listeners, turbo meaning, in my mind, fast. We want to do this as quickly as possible. We don't want to spend 6 weeks on doing something that can take 6 minutes. That's basically the concept. And dogs, just like humans, we all have different personalities and temperaments. So describe what happened. So we had an appointment today at 12:30.
So,
go ahead.
Okay, so we had the appointment today at 12:30. Mike and Ashley came to my house, and the moment they pulled up into the driveway, they could hear Stella from the outside, getting an outer body experience, so to speak. And we just did our normal routine, which was I hold her collar and I unlock the door and I step back and she's losing control of herself. I don't have control of her. And it's just a very bad situation for everybody involved. So what Mike had me do was let go of Stella, and even though I hesitated, I trusted him and I let go. And the reaction of her was completely different than anything we've experienced. And it was almost like that training was happening instantly from the moment you open that door.
Right. Right. And it's good. And she used a really good word. She trusted us. So we came to the door, and we'll put this on Facebook. So we have a video. We videoed before, and this is natural. I mean, I shouldn't say, well, it is to some degree natural. You have a dog that doesn't feel safe when the doorbell rings, and they feel their own need to protect the house. And some dogs, like Stella, doesn't even really have the intestinal fortitude to be the security guard of the house. So, as Renee said, so we ring. We knew the house because we can hear the dog going ballistic, and that's not uncommon either. We usually don't have to look for our client's house because sometimes we can just hear the dog going crazy when we pull out in front of the door. And Stella was having an out-of-body experience. She was, I want to use another word, but she was having some kind of a fit. And then, of course, Renee, she has to use her human brain, so she doesn't want us to get bit. She doesn't want Stella to run out the front door. So she has all these things in mind. So her reaction is to restrain the dog, which makes sense. Everybody does this. They hold the dog back, and it's like a bar fight. If you ever see our hockey players fighting with one another, the more they're restrained, the more agitated they get. Well, when you let them go, there's very rarely any violence. There's not really a fight that ensues. Right. So the restraint creates the aggression and the false sense of confidence. So exactly what happened. So fortunately, there was a glass door. I saw Renee struggling. It was a struggle. I mean, you know, and I don't know what if she was going to invite us in, we weren't going to come in at that point because, you know, it didn't look so good. I told Renee to just drop it. Just let the dog go. And always there's this like momentary pause, like, is this person crazy or not? And then,
that's basically what we're doing.
right. But you dropped it, you listened, you trusted me. Like, all right, it's what he said to do. And then, of course, Stella kind of lunged for the door, and then you lunged after her. And then I said, just stop, just get away. I said, just get away. And we never met before, right?
Never.
I said, just get away from the front door. And within the first, I'd say 2 or 3 minutes, we walked in the door, Ashley and I. The dog was out of balance because this has never happened before. So we broke the cycle of what her expectations were. Her expectations were that you would maybe tell us what to do. You know, maybe the dog was supposed to sniff us or something. So the fact is, in that first 3 minutes, there was a transformation. And it was easy. And one of the things after the break, we're going to stay on this topic, of course, because it's still about aggression, Jackie. So we're going to after the break, we're going to talk about this because it's a funny thing, it never I've been doing this for many, many, many years, and it never ceases to amaze me how it works because it just works. And and then by the end of the session, we're all laughing. There's a very funny video towards the end of how we concluded our training. So, and you got to look at that, because that was no. But the truth of the matter is, Renee and her husband were very cooperative and relaxed, actually, and by them trusting me, not thinking, and they're not nervous, and they weren't crying. They just listened, and they were able to take their human brain off for a minute, detach their human brain, connect with their animal brain, and then we were able to communicate with Stella. And it's heartwarming to me, because nobody wants to live like this. You know, it's frustrating. So stay with us after the break. We'll describe further what that little session was like after that. So you're listening to The Dish on Dogs. I'm your host, Mike Gould. We're here with Renee, Stella's mom, Ashley too, the wonderful and beautiful Danielle, Joe the engineer. We got a nice group. After the break, The Dish on Dogs. This is going to be our 7-minute break?
Yes.
All right, so what we're going to do, for those of you on Facebook Live, we're going to try to take Bruno outside and do a little kind of obedience, just to show you where we're at with them. So stick with us, folks. Facebook Live. All right, that was good. Excellent. Now, if you give us a couple of minutes, you take him, we're going to just do the same thing. You'll come out with that. I'm going to take my toys.
Yeah, you can unplug.
Hi, Live people. Jackie, am I all right? What else did I do wrong?
You just farted.
Somebody did. Go ahead.
wasn't me.
Wasn't me. That's why we all say. All right, this is going to be a little 7-minute break. We're just going to play around out here. Just watch around. Good. Hi, folks on Facebook Live. So here's our friend Bruno, our dog from the Brookhaven shelter, who used to be a difficult dog. He may have pulled a muscle jumping today, so he's limping a little. It's not for anything that we've done or didn't do. So he's healing. She's going to come left. She's going to stop. He's going to sit. She noticed that she's very relaxed. Now, Bruno at the shelter, he was rehomed because he's a big, powerful, energetic dog. He's not aggressive. But if a dog like that knocks you over, it doesn't matter whether he knocks you off a deck or bites you. Go left foot forward. Oh, hang on. So here's great. This is tremendous. There's the vacuum cleaner, the monster in the closet. He's concerned about it. Why? This is like somebody right out of Hollywood. He's going to start this vacuum, and we're going to watch the reaction of the dog. And now what I'm going to ask Ashley to do is start to heel and have him jump up on those chairs. Let's see how this works. This is all new. We're working live. I have a vibrating collar, by the way, just to remind you. And then what I want Ashley to do is just drop the leash, tell him to stay, and walk away. Here, give him a treat. This is when we give a dog a treat, when it goes to a place. As we were explaining to Stella's mom. In her case, in the home, the dog gets a treat when it goes into its crate. So here we decided this is the place that the dog wants to get. He's never going to get a treat or food unless he's in a designated spot. So we don't teach, this is agility. We don't teach dogs to roll over or anything like that. And this is a very distracting place. As you can see, there's a gentleman back there with a vacuum cleaner. As we're going to talk about after this segment, a vacuum cleaner is like a monster. It squeaks and squeals. What's that? PA system. That's like the gods. Look at his ears. It's like the Zeus, the gods, the Greek gods. So this is kind of incredible to me. And this is a dog that's up for adoption. He was unadoptable. He was returned to the shelter. He's not aggressive. Now what I want Ashley to do after this announcement, she's just going to get low, and Bruno's going to come to him. Not yet. I just hope people appreciate what's happening here. Picture your pet at home doing what Bruno's doing in the last week. So here comes another monster. Anything that rolls, I got it.
Please check with your air carrier for further information.
This is incredible. As you pay this gentleman, like I said, it's like an extra from Hollywood. This is crazy. Now, what I want, so what I want you to do is go to the end of the stairs, actually, and then just call him. And that's really it. So we're not asking him to do, we're asking him to do very narrow, specific things. Go someplace and stay there. And now all this distraction, this is an incredible distraction. Anybody who wants Bruno, it has to go to the right family. If you don't understand this dog, you can't have young children, you can't have elderly people, and you can't have another dog. But if you want an incredible dog, you could be homebound, you can be disabled. This is an amazing dog. Contact our friends at the Brookhaven Animal Shelter. Because I'll be honest with you, I didn't know how this was going to work out today. And like I said, there's a Zamboni. We got 3 minutes. We're going to go back. Just think of what's happening. Anything that moves is a distraction to a dog. These doors are a distraction. Well, I don't know how that happened. Dogs don't understand this. Look at my friend Bruno. Now, if Ashley wants him, what is she going to do? Get low. And then I'm going to do one more thing. Just walk away, and I just want to show you how we can deal with distractions. And this, we've only had him, what, 2 or 3 weeks? I don't know. And we work with him 20 minutes every other day or so. The rest of the time, he's in daycare interacting with a pack of dogs. Have him sit. 2 minutes, good. Ask him to sit. Sit. Good. And we're just going to wait, and then I'm going to distract him. What is this? A squeaky toy is a dying animal. It's not Santa Claus. It sounds like a dog in distress. That's why your little pet at home wants to kill it and take Santa Claus's guts out, because it's a dying animal. Look at Ashley. Drop the leash. That's all right. Pick it up. That's all right. He was cued by that. No problem. We got 2 minutes. Yeah, so we just push it. We're training him. Here's his food. He's excited. She dropped the leash. Look at her body, though. There's no tension here. So this is cool. This is 2 or 3 weeks, 20 minutes a day in a hectic, crazy world we live in. We got to go. We're going back on the air. Pick this up. Come on, kids. Let's go back in the studio. We'll talk. Let's see what Jackie has to say. Good. Come on, baby. Jesus, it's hot. It smells. Smells like 1 minute. Here we go. Smells like a. Jesus. All right, we're doing good. And then we'll just go. I got a little chatting up Stella's story. Woofa! Jackie, I can't blame you for this. Everybody blames Bruno. I don't believe one of them. Everybody is blaming Bruno. We'll take a little group picture.
30 seconds.
Oh, you'll have it on that thing. Ugh.
$15 seconds.
Want some?
Mouth was on it.
Scotch it. Got
Scotch,
whiskey.
no.
She's drinking.
Coffee.
$10 seconds.
All right, we're coming, folks. Yeah, I think that's going to be good. Now that will be posted on Facebook. Good. I got to do stuff. Jackie's
Well, you need to wait for your intro.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Dish on Dogs, the show that dishes out information and opinions about dogs and the dog brain versus the animal brain. I'm your host, Mike Gould. I'm here with Ashley, too, and Renee, Stella's mom, who we just were acquainted today. But before we go back to talking about Stella, I want to talk about Bruno. For those of you who stayed on Facebook Live or go to Facebook later, we're going to post this video. To me, it's incredible, really, and it's to the... Ashley has done this work with her, period. And it's incredible because this dog was a shelter dog. He weighs, how much does this lunatic weigh? About
Probably 75, 80
75, 80 pounds. He's in the shelter. He's been brought back because he was unmanageable. Doesn't mean he's vicious. So a dog like this who's got this high intensity. They go from 0 to 100 really quick and get stimulated quick. So if he jumps on a 10-year-old child and knocks them off a deck, that can be very serious. If he knocks grandma down, it could be very serious. So the folks, our friends at the Brookhaven shelter who do amazing work, asked us if we could work with Bruno for a little while. At least get him out of the shelter, let him interact with other dogs, because dogs should interact with other dogs. Why? Because they're dogs. Children should play with children. They have to. It's required. You can't isolate children. You can go anywhere in the world, and you don't have to speak a common language. Children will play with one another. Put them near a puddle of water, give them a hose, put them near water. Children will play with each other, regardless of anywhere. So Bruno, we had him out here. Airports are crazy places.
Yeah.
The fellow was walking behind us, this worker. It was
I couldn't figure out where he was going.
It's like we paid him to be here. He had all the things. He had a vacuum cleaner. He had a broom. All the things that normally would trigger a dog to respond or react, because it's weird. So to be at an airport, there's a PA system, there's odors, there's movement, there's sounds. It's really kind of crazy for humans, let alone the dog. So I think he did an incredible
Yeah,
job.
he did a lot better than I thought I was going to do.
Right, exactly. And we never know these things. We never know what's going to trigger a dog. We just don't know. Ashley brought her dog, who's great outside, and when he came in here a couple of weeks ago, he kind of freaked out from the different sounds and echoes and shadows. So that was a good testament look, the bottom line is Ashley did an amazing job with that dog and may be saving its life. That's the way I look at it. Because a dog, an 80-pound dog that is jumping and dragging people and bumping into them, they may not be vicious, but what home is a dog like that going to go to? All right. Oh, and by the way, for people that want to know, we always have a leash and collar on the dog. And when we do distance control, meaning where we want to start getting away from the dog and have more control, we use a vibrating collar. That's this. You tap it, and it just gives a little reminder to the dog, a little vibration that reminds the dog that just a wake-up call to remind him that he shouldn't jump or he shouldn't do these things. It's not a shock collar where we're, electrocuting the dog. It's a mild. I got a bigger shock at their house because I was running.
Rolling around
Right.
in the
So I was rolling around with Stella on the floor, which is on the video, I think.
Yeah.
And I was rolling around with Stella, and I went to pet Stella, and I got a shock. But I got the shock from accumulating electric on the.
The funny thing is you jumped more than Stella.
Exactly, because it scared me, because I thought Stella was going to bite me. No, I didn't. But, all right, so let's get back to Renee and talk about this experience. So we talked about when we got there, the dog was out of balance. Let's call it that, extremely out of balance.
Yes.
And that causes you to be out of balance. That causes your husband to be out of balance. So then we came in, and I told you not to look, talk, or touch.
Right.
And that was the beginning of the lesson. So let's pick it up there. I came in. What was your experience like?
Well, it was difficult because it felt unnatural. I didn't. Before you coming, I didn't realize how much I stare at my dog. I know that sounds really weird, but it's true. So not making eye contact with her or focusing all my attention on her was difficult for me. I really feel that the experience was very easy for her. It was more difficult for Don and I.
Right. That's true. Because
to control ourselves.
Right. And that's what I tell people. I try to make this so simple. I tell people this is so easy that you're probably going to have a difficult time doing. And you guys can practice this at home. If I tell you don't look, talk, or touch your dog for the next hour, just try it. You'll find out that you're
It's not easy.
You're going to struggle with that. And how easy can that be? And it's oddly, when I go into people's homes, families, nobody looks at each other, but they're focused on the dog sucks the life out of them, emotionally, physically, and of course financially. So there goes the Zamboni. How's my dog doing over here? Right on cue. Right, because I don't know if this person, is this like a joke, a practical joke that you guys hired? Have you hired this person to be here? He's getting on a Zamboni, he brings out a vacuum cleaner, and he just walks around as though there's not an 80-pound dog.
He's doing his job.
I get he's doing his job, but doesn't, somewhere in the world tell you maybe I shouldn't walk in front of the big killer dog that, they've heard so much about, which, by the way, I have to mention, Hounds Down, we don't breed discriminate. When I went to see Stella today, I couldn't care if it was a poodle or a pit bull or anything in between. It was the behavior at the moment. So now your husband, Don, he was a little out of it. You were the primary person that we were working with. So what was the most enlightening fact?
I guess the change in her, and it wasn't really while we were working with her, it was after you guys left. So in the past, we've always dealt with her on human level. When after you guys left, when we wanted to interact with her, we got on the floor or we crouched down. Now, one thing that I want to point out is that Stella never really loved to be touched.
Thanks for telling me. Well, I was petting her and getting a static shot. She tells me this now. Okay,
Not necessarily from you. I kind of overdo it.
I understand.
I'm like the helicopter mom. I got to be around her, and
Right.
I want to touch her, and I want to pet her. And she always walked away from me. Now that I get down on the floor, she comes to me and will give me kisses, and genuinely looks like she's enjoying our experience together. Whereas before, it was more like she was obligated.
Right. And before, I can pretty much say with certainty, and we're going to stick around for the next segment too, but you were giving away your emotion,
Yeah.
you were giving away your food, so you were a vending machine with food,
Yep.
just kicking it out. And what people don't realize, when you give food to sit, to stay, you become literally a vending machine. And the dog doesn't see you as a leader, it just sees you as a food source. So if it whines, it cries. And then secondly, if you're constantly staring, touching, and talking, you have no value to her.
Right.
So then when you got down, she at first actually when you got down when we were there, she kind of ignored you.
Right.
And sometimes humans get offended by that because, oh, what's the matter? She loves you. Sometimes people get pissed off at me because they're like, the dog likes you better than you likes me. But the point is, everything that Renee is describing is leadership. And the funny thing is, and maybe you can talk about this, and if not after the break, when I say leadership, it's not about dominance. It's actually opposite of dominance, right? All I told you was to relax.
Yeah.
Just chill out. I never said to yell at your dog. I never said to shake a can of pennies.
Nope.
None of that. So after the break, I love this woman so much that we gotta keep her. And she's not paid. This is not a paid commercial. But it's important, I think, to hear a human testimony because this is every day. This is everybody at home listening. If you ring the doorbell and your dog goes crazy and you're stressed out, and if you start your vacuum, I have people that send their husband out with the dog so they can vacuum the house. I mean, it's crazy how the dog is manipulated. Very loving people, and I want to point that out when I make these statements. That's actually the problem. Is they're so loving and nurturing that they've kind of gotten the dog out of balance because it's continual. All of our clients, especially that come to Houndstown to pay money to bring their dog to doggy daycare, that tells me right off the bat that they're loving, caring people. But we have to put leadership into a pack animal's life. Dogs are always struggling to figure out who's in charge. They can't be in charge, not in the human world, because they don't have a human brain. They don't know what cars, they don't know anything. That's really the bad part. Yet they're amazing. They're amazing emotionally, but they're not complicated emotions. They just say, Stella wants to know, are you going to hurt me or love me? And once they know that, we just balance that out. We never hurt the dog. We just love the dog, but we set boundaries. We're going to take a break. Houndstown Dish on Dogs, right? Have people go to houndstownusa.com, go to houndstownradio.com.
Yep.
If you're out of state, you can go to what?
LINewsradio.com to listen live.
There's no way you can't hear us. And then, yeah. So join us after the break. It's only going to be a couple of minutes. We're going to be joined back with Renee. We're going to talk about Stella. We're going to air out the room.
It's really stinky.
Yeah.
You're not sitting on top of
Let's
it.
stick around, if you don't mind. She's saying, now I'm getting good. Thank you, Jackie. Someone's asking about jumping.
Yeah, that was the first segment they asked.
Talk about the topic. Okay, I got yelled at for that. Someone's talking about jumping and how to prevent it. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about it. We'll use. We did that first thing. We did that first thing. So when Instant. First thing Stella wanted to do was jump on Mom because she was out of balance. She didn't know what to do, and she wasn't getting Mom's attention. She didn't know how to get Mom's attention. What's the best way for a dog to get attention? Jump on somebody. You're going to get some kind of attention. usually it's a confusing thing. Usually we touch the dogs and scream at them and yell at them. Here we just do a little mild body change on the human's part, a behavioral change, and that adjusts the dog. So let's see, Jackie, am I supposed to talk about this after the break, or how am I doing? That was good. All right. Hey, mister.
Now he's awake.
Now he's awake. All right, he wants to give him a cookie.
He's adorable.
Get
No,
back.
he wants the squeaky toy.
Yeah, get back. All right, I screwed this all up. Good. All right, so yeah, we'll pick this up. We'll talk about just that, however it was. I don't even remember now. It was a lot
She
of
didn't
fun.
jump on me at all the whole day, or done. It was, I'm telling you, it's fascinating how quickly this
Right.
happened.
And it should be fascinating to you because you are smart. So now you're probably looking at it like, dark. This is really
Yeah.
simple. All right. We'll talk about jumping.
15 seconds.
I'm glad we took them now.
Yeah.
You never know. We could have brought Stella. I don't think Stella would have been great.
I think it would have been too much for her
Too
today.
much for her. And then you and us.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. Your host, Mike Gould, Houndstown Radio, The Dish on Dogs, Ashley Pizzo,
Hello?
Bruno from the shelter, wanting a home, a forever home, but not by psychotic people, just a normal person who can respect and understand the dog, not try to project all your sick emotions on a poor little dog. So if you just want a dog, doesn't have to do anything for you, just lick your face, you pet him, his tail wags, here he is, he's waiting for you. You got a backyard, he needs to run around because he is a ball of energy. So you have to channel that energy. And then, of course, we're joining us again for our last and final segment is Renee, Stella's mom, who today we did a turbo training, and I'm very thankful that you joined us today because it's still fresh in our minds, and I'm always trying to, my frustration is trying to take intelligent people, and that's the problem, the operative word. My most challenging is people that rationalize, think, you're Googling. You said a word today that a trainer told you. What was it?
Extinction.
Extinction. so I went there. What was that about? Talk about that for a minute. You don't have to mention the trainer.
No,
yeah.
I know. So basically, we've been having issues with Stella since we got her a year and a half ago. And one of her primary issues is barking. She likes to be vocal. And we tried to have this addressed with a trainer that we did a stint with. And
When you say a stint, I'm just curious.
6 weeks.
6 weeks. All right, this
Yep.
is a good one. Okay.
6 weeks. And
And the sad part is I'm assuming you paid this person.
oh yes,
Right.
we paid the money. Back then we lived in a townhouse.
Right.
So we had a neighbor right on the other side of
Right.
the wall. Thankfully, he was very hard of hearing
Right.
and very understanding. But this trainer suggested extinction, which in his terms meant let the dog bark forever until it's done barking.
And then what?
Well, and then we got a phone call from management.
Right. But what was the logical conclusion? So you're going to take a dog that could incessantly bark for probably 3 days straight.
Right.
And what was the instruction after they?
Once they stop, then you reward
With what?
with a treat.
Right.
Everything was food motivated, which
So this is insanity, and I don't talk about anybody personally, but if we just think, first of all, it was a clever phrase. I've been doing this I'm always impressed by the human words. So extinction, I thought you meant that he was going to bark till the dog dies. I didn't know what.
that basically was what it is.
Yeah, exactly. But think of how bizarre this is. So you're going to take a dog, and barking is in Stella's case, is purely neurotic anxiety. It's
Yep.
not a healthy alarm barking like this guy going by in the Zamboni. If my friend Bruno barked 3 or 4 times, that would be alarm barking, which is what dogs do. But this incessant, so the concept that this poor person, a husband, more importantly, our poor neighbors, had to endure
Yep.
Stella's this extinction method where it's going to bark and then you're going to reward it with food. It's absolutely absurd. So talk about all those problems kind of existed today. So seeing that we have somebody that's asking about jumping, so you were standing in your kitchen,
Yep.
you were making eye contact, you were relaxed. and then talk about the jumping.
Well, and she was doing this on a regular basis where to get my attention, she would just jump on me, whether it was in front of me, behind me, it didn't matter.
Right.
You
Because
know,
a lot of people will tell you to turn your back on them. but
Right.
that
I've
doesn't-
done it all.
Right. Exactly.
You know, I've even had people say step on their toes, you know, which I don't want to hurt my dog.
Well, it's insane. It's okay, but go ahead. The point of the matter, obviously, none of these things work.
Nothing.
So I told you, or I asked you, I don't tell people, I asked you to do what?
All I had to do was raise my foot.
Right.
Well, the first
Not
time,
balance.
like a flamingo.
Yes, that's exactly what I did.
Right.
I must have looked really stupid, but
No, you actually were a star student, and I hate that. Not just because you're here right now.
he said raise my leg, I raised it.
Right, she raised it, but she didn't understand. But it was so. The point was, if a dog is behind you and you raise your leg and not touch it, it's not getting
It's
what
not
it
doing
wants,
anything.
so it goes away. So that worked for Stella, and she never jumped on any of us while we're there. But so what? When jumping, so first of all, dogs are narcissistic, kind of like little children. 1 and 2 year my granddaughter is a narcissist. She's 6 months old. She has no empathy. She couldn't care less. She just wants her needs met when she wants her needs met. And dogs are kind of that way. They don't really care who pays the bills, who's shoveling the driveway if it snows. They just want to know, how do I get something from these people? How do I get Dawn and how do I get Renee to do something?
Right.
And now Renee is the vending machine of food. So how did she can whine, she can bark, it's always something. So the easy way to get touched is for a dog to jump. So for the person who asked how, I'm not, and read my lips. You don't kick dogs, you don't punch dogs, you don't slap dogs. You just do something, a body movement that interrupts what she's thinking of doing. So if a dog jumps towards your front, just literally raise your knee. Raise your knee. That doesn't mean drop kick your dog across the room. Raise your knee. Because Stella was coming from behind,
Right.
I told Renee to raise your foot backwards. And this is what we do day in and day out in our doggy daycares. That's how we prevent. It's so simple. As I said, it's very difficult for people to get because our minds are racing and we're Googling and we're researching.
But there was no force behind it.
No, and the funny thing is you did it one time, and this is
And
a
that was
behavior
it.
that's been going on for a long time.
All
This
day.
isn't, an infrequent thing that happened.
No, this was
And it was broken
very
with one
frequent.
gentle leg.
Right.
And it really was a gentle. She didn't yelp. I didn't force it on her. I didn't kick her.
Right.
You know, it was just a change in my behavior
Right.
that resulted in her understanding what I wanted.
Right, exactly. And that's really 90% of exactly what you said. But it's so simple that you don't realize we have rituals, where we sit, when we put our jacket. Everything is
Yeah.
ritual based. And that's how dogs determine what time it is. From the time you get out of bed, they know your ritual. They're not thinking about anything except right now, how do I get my needs met by these people? And we had a great experience outside. We
Yep.
went outside and she peed, she pooped. And this is really all on Facebook. I really think it's important. We'll probably put it on our Hounds or some other page. But it's really something I think remarkable to watch. The video, we were at your house maybe an hour or so, hour and a half, something like
Wasn't
that.
long.
Wasn't long. And 90% of the behaviors were settled. And then I had too much coffee. I don't know when to
Yeah.
shut up. I'm like the bad house guest. I'm like the house.
You're like, we're leaving.
I'm like that never leaves. I got relatives like this. I'm like, I'm leaving. No, and I go on and on and on. But it's very important and it's heartwarming to see that this really works. And when people are willing to trust me, that's the operative word, trust. Not tell me about what they think and all their methods. Just relax and do what we say. You're listening to Hounds Down Radio. I don't have to talk a lot about Hounds Down Charities because here is Hounds Down Charity. We got Bruno's asleep now. He's farting his head off in his sleep. But here he is. This is a shelter dog. So for all these people that are going out buying dogs and want $20,000 for a therapy dog, here's your therapy dog. I'll pay the adoption fee to the right owner, not people that feel like they had a dog like this, they want a dog like this. This is not a security guard. He's not there to support you emotionally when you travel on an airplane. He's just there. He's this wonderful creature that's amazing, and he'll do what you want within reason. He's not going to do a Rubik's Cube anytime now. He's not going to get you a beer out of the refrigerator. Teach him what you want, and here he is, an amazing thing. Stella and Renee, hopefully their life is going to develop. We're going to try to bring Stella in a future show. You're listening to Hounds Radio 103.9, Monday nights at 8 o'clock. Monday nights at 8 o'clock. What else do we need to say?
Well, we'll see you next week. You can also watch this video. Will stay on our page, so if somebody wants to show it to someone, if they have a dog with this problem, I know we have people messaging in that they have the same issues. They can always, like I said, tune back into, Houndstown Radio on Facebook, and this video will be posted up there.
Right, and look at the picture of Renee and Stella. It's the Christmas.
It's a video.
Oh, it's a video. Oh God, that's even worse. It's the Christmas. It's the Christmas video. It's really funny, and I had a great time with these guys. Don and Renee and Stella. We had a fun time. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll talk next week. All right. All right, guys, on Facebook, we'll see you next week. We got to move out. We have another.
I don't think so.
All right. Hey, Joe.